Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about XinFin Network, aka XDC. With that being said, let's just dive in and let's start off with the overall price chart. So in the last month, we are up about 65, almost 66%. In the year, we are up about roughly 96.99%, which you love to see. The best part about all of this is that we are still very well in a bear market, technically, where most of the retail sector is not here, institutions are not here. We are so damn early. So, if we are celebrating these moves, if we are happy about these moves, I just want you all to realize that we're still pumping the gas, right? Like, we're not even at the starting point. The race is not yet on, but soon it will be. And I really look forward to it, right? Because we know for a fact that the last all-time high was roughly around 20 cents for XDC. Okay, that was now roughly 2 years ago. A new all-time high is brewing on XDC. And I strongly believe that this token is going to take a lot of people by storm. And I think that recently it started to shock a lot of people as well, because they weren't expecting XinFin to break out as fast as it did. But as we really kind of look at XDC and what's been happening around digital trade and trade finance, I've been warning you guys for a while that, big moves are coming and they're finally starting. But we're still, like I said, we're not even at the starting point yet. We're still gassing up. Just wait until the race is on. And a few people have been talking a little bit more about XDC. It seems like the social engagement is a little bit higher now on XDC. We do see over here from BlockScan, we're thrilled to be a part of XDC Network that has made its way into the top 50 on CoinMarketCap. Thank you to our incredible community for your unwavering support. Together, we're making waves in the blockchain world. And it did hit into the top 50 slowly, but surely we will rise to the top 20, top 10, possibly even the top 5, which would be huge. But I'm still expecting top 15, top 10. As we do look at XDC right now, it's kind of lost its top 50 spot a little bit, but I do believe that we will regain it eventually here soon. The best part about this market is just knowing how early we are, though. One thing that I constantly mention on this channel, and I know that it can get annoying sometimes, is the fact that we are so early, right? I do think that there's a lot of change that still needs to happen within the space. There's a lot of things that still need to be put in place as well in terms of proper regulations and stuff like that. But we are getting there slowly but surely. And also, by the way, what I noticed is that the XDC, or I should say the XinFin official account, just recently broke 100,000 followers, which is huge. And they've been doing a lot of events. They've been doing a lot of community engagement, which is something that I've been really kind of focused on as well, because you guys know me, community engagement, community growth, it's a crucial thing around all of these projects, right? So I love to see the fact that they are hosting these major events, especially over in Japan. They did have one in Austin as well. There's a lot of things happening around XDC, so pay attention. And remember, just recently, they were in Australia. Shout out to Sean of the Woke, Sean XDC Australia. Looking back at the Splash XDC network made at BW 2023 here in Australia last month. Big thanks to all the community help making this a success for the XinFam and all the efforts we make to bring XDC front and center of blockchain conversations. And yeah, I mean, this was a huge one. Listen, all of these events are crucial. I always say this, right? Whenever you're looking into a project, right? Like XinFin, for an example, that's still kind of early on. It doesn't have a lot going on. Hedera was like this, by the way. You really want to look at the community behind it. Hedera has had a strong community behind it since day one. And same with XDC. XDC during 2021, for a matter of fact, if you were here during 2021, you would know how strong the community is. They make a ton of noise. So that's one thing that XDC really has, is a very strong backing behind it in terms of the community. Also, the team is very strong, and also the project we already know, right? Everything is lining up for a lot of these utility tokens, and XDC is definitely one of them. Also over here from Troy S. Wood, we recently just seen XDC get listed on a Bitpanda. This is actually a pretty large exchange compared to some of the other smaller ones. But it's not like a tier 1. It's not like Binance or anything like that. But I do like the fact that we are getting more listings. It does welcome in the idea that we might see a T1 listing like Coinbase or Binance or something like that. But listen, no matter the case, right? Small, medium, large, it does not matter. All of these exchanges are crucial and also very beneficial for liquidity, for more people to on and off ramp to and from XDC. It's very beneficial. So I'm very excited for this, and I do think that there's going to be a lot more listings for XDC in the near future. And also, by the way, SBI VC. So SBI, big player, remember, they are partnered with XDC. What do you see here? So translate it, there is an XDC booth in front of SBI Group. Also today, XDC entered the top 50 market capitalization for the first time. The signboard on the right side of the photo, notice of solution announcement for UK's Electronic Trade Documents Act is said to be released globally for the first time. And here is that image. This is, of course, with XinFin and XDC. This is the UK, and we do see Electronic Trade Documents Act. And of course, I'm not going to be able to read this, but hey, this is right on par with getting the word out there that this is a historical moment for trade finance and also for XDC. They've been pioneering XDC for a very long time, especially around a lot of these big areas. Like for an example, in Japan. Japan, by the way, for those out there that don't know, Japan has been a big area for a lot of these tokens, specifically, and I always say like specifically like Ripple with XRP or even XDC now, but also remember that SBI has been a pioneer around institutional grade adoption of some of these tokens, like even XRP with Ripple. But I love to see this, right? It really does give you a little bit more of an in-depth view on the fact that XDC is taking over outside of the US, especially in Australia, now Japan, and also now we also have an event within the US in Austin, which is huge. So again, they are hyper focused on building out the community, getting the word out there on how disruptive this technology is, which I love to see. And also talking more so about that, Anigio recently posted this. The TFG is taking action and executing on the need to address the SME trade finance gap. And Anigio is very proud to be part of building the future of trade with TFG and the DNI initiative. And if we go over here to the Trade Finance Global website, this is TFG Distribution Finance goes live, executes the first trade transaction. And this is from the 25th. And we do see down here that the initiative aims to drive liquidity into the trade finance market from institutional capital, banks, and credit unions, facilitated by TFG and its partners. And remember, right, that gap was specifically targeted for XinFin. If we go back to my Twitter account, I actually recently posted it. Here we have it. The world is waking up to the digital revolution happening. Global standards are being put in place. XDC was chosen as the first blockchain-based company to join the ITFA. This enabled them to bridge the $19 trillion trade finance market. The recent moves in the UK allow this disruption to take place. The future is digital. XinFin is a powerhouse behind trade finance, and soon everyone will know of XDC. XDC Network is fully committed to being at the forefront of this transformative journey in international trade and finance. Utility has taken over. I look forward to the future when institutions are pioneering these technologies 24/7, 365. You are so damn early. And here you guys have, we welcome XinFin's XDC network to TFDI, as this enables us to bridge the $19 trillion trade finance asset class with any type of funder through tokenization and digital assets. And remember, this is also how, in my opinion, they are going to source liquidity with XinFin. XinFin is the key player with all of this. And we do see over here, like XDC Network is fully committed to being at the forefront of this transformative journey in international trade and finance, which is a huge stepping stone for them. Listen, I've talked about it many times in the past. So also over here, the $2 trillion global trade finance gap, which is needing something in terms of a technology revolution to fill that gap. And guess what? XDC is the answer, which has risen from 1.7 trillion in 2020. So now it's at $2 trillion in what, 3 years now, is a significant barrier to international trade, particularly impacting mid and market companies and small to medium-sized businesses. The TFG Distribution Finance will not only work with global banks, but also invite traditional institutional investors, non-bank lenders, and alternative credit funds to participate in the trade finance market, opening the door for even more liquidity, which is going to be a huge game changer. And again, this is all through the ITFA, which is always great to see. I think that this is big. I think that this is a major change. And we even do see a few quotes down here. So one, this is the global head of trade and receivables finance at TFG. In the face of rising interest rates, trade finance has emerged as an attractive asset class for investors, offering competitive yields. The short-term nature of trade finance itself, liquidating characteristics, and the backing by specific trade transactions all contribute to its appeal. And then also down here, recognizing these market dynamics, TFG, distribution finance, is our response to the significant and growing liquidity, which is seeking entry into the cross-border trade finance market, as well as the escalating demand for private credit from borrowers. So this is all focused heavily on not only Inigio with Trace Original, but it's also being allowed to take place because of MLATR and the standardization that's going into place, especially with the electronic trade documents bill. Like, all of this is helping this major initiative take place. And I think that's so exciting. And we even do see down here from Andre Casterman, Trade Finance Global's progress on the DNI initiative has been astonishing. By adopting out the DNI initiative interoperability model designed around Web3 technologies, TFG accelerates engagement with various lenders around the world and contributes to closing the SME financing gap, which is, of course, $2 trillion. This is game-changing, very, very exciting. And last but not least, I just want to include a tweet from CryptoNerd, because this is what we need to see next, right? This is what happens next. So XDC Chris Southworth said, what's next? Implementation, ETBA. Notice him tagging ITFA worldwide. XinFin is the only blockchain company to join ITFA. And here you guys have what comes next, the most important bit, implementation. I'm sure I can't be the only one still computing what has happened this week. It's a game changer on an epic scale. We haven't just changed English law from late September when the act comes into force. We will have enabled 80% of bills of lading, 60% of global trade finance, the lion's share of marine insurance and shipping, as well as every company in the world which uses English law to now begin removing paper and digitalize trade transactions. The law will also unlock the first East-West G20 trade corridor to go paperless, with Singapore and the first G7 trade corridor to do the same in Germany. And then also, last but not least, here you guys have him mentioning, of course, a few players down at the bottom, which is the ITFA, the ICC, stuff like that. And then he's also even talking more so about this. So what's next? One, we are developing the reliable systems framework. We need to underpin the law and aiming to do this in a way that aligns us internationally and doesn't create unnecessary bureaucracy. Two, we will be rallying UK global corporates across the food and drink, pharma, automotive, retail, and wider manufacturing sectors to help build the business case to digitalize global supply chains, SMEs. Three, we are supporting the Commonwealth Legal Reform and Digitalization Working Group to help member states to also align to MLATR and have e-signature, e-payments law in place by October 2026. Four, we are publishing the corporate business case for digital identity adoption in the autumn LEIs. Five, we are exploring the potential to create global public law trade architecture to reliably handle electronic transferable records. We are working with government to digitalize borders, single trade window, and trade corridors. Seven, we are continuing to support government efforts across G7, G20, and the World Trade Organization, which, by the way, the WTO mentions specifically XinFin being extremely disruptive and helpful for closing that trade finance gap. For others to help us digitalize world trade. Eight, we are preparing to help companies to integrate trade and ESG data to make global supply chains sustainable. So again, all of this is possible because of what just recently happened last week. And the next step is implementation. So as we really kind of look at XDC, you know, I said it as well over on Twitter, like, trade finance is probably going to be the first major market that gets disrupted by DLT, because there has not been any automation. There's not been any digitalization happening on the forefront of trade finance. So it's so ripe for disruption more than any other market. And we're finally seeing it change. So this is huge. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, though. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.